Okay. Test. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. That's good enough. Clear that on down in here. Okay, so yesterday I integrated the more sophisticated caching stuff for the active streams, and basically it works like this, that where we have it? There we have it. So to get this active, the total amount of active streams, and it also shows here the active streams per network, the active superfluid streams. So basically I get the information from a superfluid subgraph that they deployed, that I'm allowed to access there, and that gives me all the informations. I write that into an array. That's this here. That's the token distribution array. And interestingly, I write the whole token distribution in there. I think I should change that. Never mind. But the point is, I'll write an array into the text file. And the text file, if someone opened up the website, then it looks when was the last time that text file got edited, and then it grabs the array from the text file and unserializes the array, fills up the variable with it, so that I do have access to these informations in there. And if the age of the text file is younger than a specific allowed status age in second, that's 4 hours in this case, then it basically just uses that array to fill up the token distribution array, and that's the one that then gets printed out on the website. And if it's older than 4 hours, then it would grab the newest information from the subgraph, and that does this stuff here. So we have the API endpoints, and here the function to get the active stream amount, and all that stuff here basically gives me back one number, and that's the current total amount of streams on that specific networks. And I run that for all these networks that I have here, and that fills up the array. What has changed since last time is that some portions are now get run via functions, so that I don't have to duplicate it all the time. But the main part is that I also check, is the result that I get from the subgraph really an integer? So in case the endpoint is down, or there's an RPC issue, or any issue, whatever, if the result is not a number, then it takes the last value and writes that one again in there, so that the array doesn't get broken up, because I had that issue a few times on another script, and that could drag down the whole page. So that's like this security check that we have in here. And now I'm gonna do basically exactly the same stuff, but for the Coingecko price, because right now I do write it in there, so that's already in place. So I have here this current Coingecko price text file, and there's the serialized array in there with the last timestamp when I got the request in there, and the current total price from the API endpoint. And right now that's the token distribution. We don't need that one. So I'm gonna implement the same time that I built for the other stuff in here. So since we're going to, we already had that, so I can kick that. So we are going to adapt this stuff here with the new logic, and then also implement that security feature that if the request is 0, that we can be sure that all is good. So we get the Coingecko array, and that's in here. So with that function, we get what's in the current Coingecko text file, the array in here. So we have that value right now. And then we get the Coingecko timestamp. Coingecko, how did I call Coingecko text? How did I call it? So we have the same. Timestamp, just call it Coingecko timestamp. Okay, and do that at the same time. So now we know when was the file last time edited, and we get the current status that the current array we have in there. And the whole part. So let's, because we're lazy fucks, we just where is it? There it is. So that's the old stuff. Let's disable that so we're not get confused. So if the timestamp here, I'm just making sure that it's actually an integer. If not, then I'll just transform it to that. So if the current timestamp minus the allowed age is greater than that, then we need to run the script for getting the latest Coingecko price. That would be this one here. So that's the whole script that gets the Coingecko price. Here we have the URL, and we just check it, and that's here the price array. And that's the basic stuff. So we're just gonna copy that. So if it is in there, and we're just going to kick that because we only have this one stuff in here. And basically I could get rid of the timestamp anyways, since I'm not doing it via the timestamp from the array anymore. Just take the timestamp when the file got edited the last time. So yeah, maybe just kick that. Fuck it. Yeah, sure, why not? Sure. So it's interesting that it's just I could basically just write in the fucking number. What's the reason for getting the array in there? Using array. I think I still use the array. I'll leave it as an array and also write the timestamp in there, just so that I have an array running. Because right now I'm just doing the total USD value, but I might expand it later on to have different network specific stuff. Hey Adi, how are you doing? How's your Friday? It's still Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah. Here. Oh, good. I met with a friend for 2 beers, and now I came home and figured, since I implemented last time the caching feature and I still have the loop in mind, it's going to be a good idea to also implement the Coingecko caching stuff in there. And for the 2 other stuffs, the 2 other values that I should cache with the new logic, I can't do that right now because that's either in transition or broken right now, but should be fixed next week or so. That's true, but unfortunately I don't have any beers right here right now, so I figure maybe I'll just implement that and then drive the one wheel to the gas station and get 1 beer. Or I'll, you know what, I can write my brother if he just can help me out with 1 or 2 beers. Let's give that a try. He's usually driving stream, like with the 1 wheel. I think I never streamed with the phone. Do people do that, right? They're like doing this live streams with the phone itself. Interestingly, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of live streams from the phone are the you know, the one asshole that live streamed his shooting spree in there. Weird. I mean, I didn't watch it on purpose. I got the link from a few, but I figured it's something that you actively should decide not to watch, to not amplify, even if it wouldn't even matter if I would watch it or not. What do you mean you did not know someone who streamed that? You know that, where I think in Christchurch, that stupid fuck who went with the AR-15 and live streamed the whole killing spree in there. Stupid cunt. Yeah, I just remember that he drove there and went live on Facebook, I think. And he had like this body cam and he was live streaming while he was shooting people, and people tuned in. I think that really reminded me of that Black Mirror episode, you know, where that makes you think, do you really need to watch live streams to support something just because you're like this. I don't get it. People tend to not be responsible for their actions, I feel. Or well, that looks like a very deep turn from, hey, live stream driving with your one wheel to a mass shooting in there. Sorry for that. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. But what are you up to today? Are you also working, or did you get to the weekend already? Where's the Oh, nice. Where are you going to dive this thing? And what kind of like this cave diving again, or just? I don't think there's some ice at the moment that you can. I mean, in Tyrol it was actually snowing yesterday, so. Tomorrow is for an instructor class on hopping out. Sunday some practice, and later we're going to France for some cave diving. Oh, that sounds nice. So you're an instructor too? Can you? Do you instruct also, or you just helping someone on his? You're an instructor trainer, so you can. So you would be able to fully train me from basically drowning person to, oh, you train the instructors even. Oh, that's like the top level of diving instructing thing, right? Also, on top, there's the dude that certifies the instructors who are allowed to train other instructors. Okay? Do you get that correct? Are those the ones with extra oxygen so that they die last? But I always imagined that you would walk out of the water like Halle Berry does in James Bond, you know. Do you have extra trainings to improvise to get better at walking out in slow motion too? Is that a thing? That's cool. So how long are you on the water in such a cave? Like 1 or 2 hours maximum? Or is it? And also, does it take the same? Does it take the same time to get in the cave as it does out of the cave, or is it basically 2/3 of the time to get in because you're discovering everything and going very slow, and then once you want to get out, then you basically just follow the zip line or whatever you put in there, and that guides you out there. So it's just okay. Okay, so yeah, I mean, but I was actually so. Yeah, but you do need to, depending if the cave goes like really deep, you also need to have like this decompression stops while it being inside of the cave. But is there a lot of stream or like a flow, or are these very neutral, the caves and stuff? Like, is the water in there standing most of the time, or is there, or most of the caves like where it flows through and that's okay. Due to the different pressure levels, right? Okay. And you do, like, you basically just feel them where it drags you along, right? Yeah, but don't you have like this underwater jet thing that drags you along? Like this James Bond villain stuff? Or where you... The one you used to enter Alcatraz to get rid of the VX rockets, right? I think you were in there with Nick Cage, didn't you? Didn't you enter there with Nick Cage? And basically those are like any electrical vehicle, right? So you don't really have a specific time that it works or distance, so it always depends on the flow rate and how much energy it's gonna take you to get from A to B. So if there's a high flow rate and you have to fight against it, the battery would die in 30 minutes, and if there's nothing, it could work for an hour or so. Oh, that's cool. Cool. And where are you? Where's the cave? In France, right? Did I get that? Remember that correctly? No idea where the lot region is in France. Like, is it on top or no idea where Gromat is. Is it in the top or bottom? Okay, so I only is Google Mappable. That's, I think in the south of France I was in Lyon once and in Bordeaux, which is like in this, basically on the same. Who knew the French have caves? And you're heading out there tomorrow early, or? Okay, so let's focus really quick. So I get the array, I get the recent timestamp, then I check if the timestamp is older. If I don't need to get the recent number, then I just unserialize the array from the text file. I write it into the current Coingecko array, and that gets printed on the website. If it's outdated, then I'll require the comment this one here, because basically that's the only stuff we're actually going to need. So in that case, we get the Coingecko. We load that one in here, that then runs this function here that gives back the Coingecko price, writes the Coingecko price in the Coingecko USD, that writes it into the price array, and in that case, if the Coingecko price array total is an integer, which means that this array worked fine, then I'll then I'll say that the current Coingecko price array is Coingecko price array, and if it's not, then the current Coingecko price array stays the same. Yeah. But I feel like in any case I can unserialize it, because I'm gonna need it anyways at some point, no matter what happens. Question is just if I write the old one in there or the new one. Unserialize is basically just that, for example, the array looks here like this, so it's this long text file, and if it's unserialized, then it looks like this. Time stamp. That number. So basically, serializing and non-serializing is just a different kind of storing the Sorry, I'm allergic to malicious input. Sorry. I mean, I do the values I write in that text file. For example, here it basically gets the JSON and it does the JSON decode. What the fuck? Sorry. So, but on the other hand, the only thing I'm writing in there is always the request I get. What the heck? Sorry. So, and I do check if the value that I request is an integer. So in the worst case, if what the API gives me back would be something malicious, it would write that into the array in here. And then at this point here, it would detect, oh, it's something different and not a number anymore. So fuck it, take it what the last time was in there. So I'm not sure if there's any security risk about serializing and unserializing in this specific matter. But I think if you're just serializing and unserializing something that you don't really check, something that you request from somewhere else, that could be tricky, yeah. Okay, let's kick that, and update that as well. And now let's see if it throws a bunch of errors. Of course it does. Unserialized argument. Oh, yeah, I still need that. So, what the fuck? I think the issue is that it can. Let's make sure what its body is referring to here, just to be sure. That can. Okay. So say I'll that's the normal array, and if I would will be the serialized stuff, and if I just encode it, okay. Okay, I mean, of course I can just make the JSON code out of it. It doesn't really matter what I'm storing in the text file. So if you say that the JSON decode encode is the better approach, I totally would go that way. Thanks for the input. But I'm taking the data that I get out of there anyways to then write later on a PHP array. So. But could be that exactly that one tiny spot here makes it easier. So let's just switch to that. So in that we would JSON encode, and here JSON decode. What's in here? I mean, I guess it's fine either way. So let's go with the more secure approach. Okay. Yeah, but that's good. So I do get that stuff out there, and I do get the timestamp. Yeah. So that's it here. Sure. Okay, now we're in there, and then that way the current Coingecko array is whatever I got from there, and that's going to get decoded, right? Must be a type of string. Because I already decoded it here. No, that's the right. And yeah, I already decoded it. So I don't need to do that anymore. And that's causing the error. Got it. So, got it. Okay, so we can get that. And that. Do this one in here. So if it's old enough, it goes in there. If it's not old enough, we load that stuff in here. That runs the function, that writes the array. That's the array that I'll check then if the Coingecko is actually an integer. If it is not, then the current Coingecko array stays the old one, but then I don't update the timestamp anymore. So I better get rid of the timestamp altogether. Or how about if I just leave that and I'll take the you know what? Fuck that. Let's just right there, only the number in there. Let's do a different approach for that. Get Coingecko value. There. Get the caching files, timestamp if the timestamp is not, and if the current Coingecko value in that case is the Coingecko value from the text file, and if it's not, run that whole shit and the current Coingecko is the value from text is Coingecko USD. Okay, let's do that like this. Let's see if it problems in there. That's the 0, but that's okay since we are changing this here also to the current Coingecko value. Okay. That seems fine. And now we lower that to 2000. Should be 2000 now. 20,000. Okay, we get the right value, and now we are going to reduce that to 5 seconds just to be sure that we do get the latest value. It's going to take a little bit since it does the request. And it doesn't fucking write. Why? Yeah, but it doesn't. Why doesn't it write that? And the real question is, why even bother at this time to even take the function in there? Because I think at this point oh, it's not an integer. Is it now a problem that one is an array and the other one isn't anymore? Okay. Okay. Okay, let's check if that is an array. Then we encode it, and if not, we just take the normal stuff in there. How about that? Okay, interesting. Okay, and why did he write then in there 2000? Because for him, invalid. How about that? It works. Awesome. Okay, and I think at the same time I also was able to fix this one here, because I think the active streams, that one here is now also chasing. Yes, nice. And if I close this one and I download it, then that should now show. What the fuck? Why? Why is that? Why? So that here is it's too old, so it gets the new one. If it's an integer, that it's in here, and it, oh yeah, because I'm writing the wrong stuff into the text file. So now it should show the newest stuff down here, and the text file should also have the new value in there. And if I set that back to, was that the right amount? $60 times 4. Okay, so 3, 4. Okay, so if it's new, then everything is fine. From the subgraph, if in that case it's old enough, so to get active streams array. Yeah. Stack trace. Okay, so let's trace encode. And we just true. Hallelujah. So, and that gives me the most recent streams. Here are the infos. Nice. And now we reduced significantly the amount of Coingecko requests. And also made sure that there's some security checks in place. Nice. Okay, so next time, next week, we are going to get the tokens holder amount. That's the current percentage. That's something we have to check, because that is currently not possible, or I could do it, but it's going to change and do it to the new Amarok routers for connext. So before I touch that, I'll make sure that they're up and running, and then I'll get the request from there. Okay. That's basically what I wanted to achieve today. So that's basically it. What are you up, Adi? Want to do some pew pew pew? Or are you occupied with your... Yeah, I mean, I could get a beer, or we could play a little bit. Whatever you feel like. Ah, yeah, then in that case it doesn't really make much sense to drag it on. All right. In that case, Adi, safe travel. Stay. Wish you a nice evening for the diving, and let's see what we can do next time. There are still some topics open to do. I still need to make some adjustments here on the relevant transactions stuff. Those are probably getting reminted on Nifty Fair. That's in there, and then I think once we have that in place, I'll continue working on the network specific sub pages. Will you PPP on Sunday? Not 100% sure yet. Can't tell right now. It's 50-50, but I'll let you guys know. Right, good. Then nice Saturday, everyone, and until next time.